Alright, hello, welcome back to Minecraft. Sometimes you get fed up of all this redstone stuff. Sometimes you just want to stop and stare at all the beautiful nature. You just want to stop and stare. Hidden staircase. Hell yeah. So what we have here is a hidden staircase in the floor. And actually this version is the old version. This is the new version. It's kind of basically the same, but just I changed a tiny amount. But the point is, you can hide stairs in the floor. So if we pull this lever and fall off that glass there, we can see that these stairs have indeed gone away and we've got now blocks in their place. I think it might be better to use tinted glass for that so you can actually see them. There you go. And then the stairs are back. Well, they've gone away again. So the limiting thing for the speed is actually what was probably a mistake, is using this Ilmango block swapper design. The design isn't a mistake, it's really cool. But it's just that I have enough room. I could have used a different one that was quicker. But this one kind of does this funky thing of swapping the block two sides, if you look. So I guess we can see it better here. So you can see the blocks get pushed around quite a lot in this block swapper. You'll notice the block always ends up on the same side. So we've got a block there. And we've got stairs there. And it actually doesn't work if you start the block off from the other side that you're swapping. You can see it ends up in the middle, and then if we fire it again, well, we push one of them up. So our block did go back, but this one's in the air. Not very helpful. So you'd have to make sure it started off on the right side. But it's a pretty small design, and it doesn't use a lot of resources. Talking of which, resources you're going to need for this build are in this boat. 9 observers, 3 trapdoors, 11 redstone dust, 3 redstone repeaters, 3 redstone torches, 2 slabs, 10 sticky pistons, and 8 normal pistons. So you could maybe make this easier by using slime blocks for the stairs, but this design in total has a slime block plus 1 worth of slime, whereas a slime block design would use a lot more than that, so that was kind of the point. I could also use more normal pistons if I made the walls a bit less clean with pistons. But the goal of this design is, I guess it's easier to see on this one, is if you look when you walk down, apart from this redstone block in the corner here, and these pistons is very clean. Like the walls are all fully filled in, and there's not much distracting you. There's just these 2 pistons and the redstone block. So it strikes a nice balance of being small, not a lot of resources, but still looking nice. Okay, so for space, you're going to need this 5x7 area. And your stairs are going to start 1 block forward from the back. So here's 1 block, here's the stairs. And what you do is you go 4 blocks up, then as stairs. So better way of doing this really will be, if this is your floor here, you're going to have 5 blocks of space under the floor, and your stairs start 1 block from the back. They're in the middle, so you dig 4 blocks into the ground. If you're building this in your base, stairs just go down like this. And again, this is your floor level. So to start off with, at the back, we're going to go underneath the back stair, and we're going to do a piston, sticky piston aiming up. Then we're going to go 2 blocks to each side, place sticky pistons aiming into the middle. Going into this bottom piston, we're going to have an observer underneath aiming up. So we'll set it so the stair is above it like this. Then we go out the back of this piston, and then we do observers on each side like this, and do blocks with redstone, like that. So now we're going to test what side we need to put the block on for it to swap properly. So what we're looking for is the block swaps with the stairs and the block ends up on the same side. So we set off the bottom observer twice. So if I set it off once and then again, but don't do it too fast. Well, the stairs have ended up in the middle, so that's not what we want. They should have ended up at the side. So now we'll try putting the block on the other side, and we'll put the stairs back. If I set it off twice, again, wait a bit and then do it. Well, they've swapped. The block is in the middle now, the stairs are to the side. And I'll do it again, set it off twice. Well, the stairs are back where they were, the block is back where it was. So that's the correct way to do it. So you just have to check which side the block needs to be on. It depends on what direction you make the stairs face. And this is Ilmango's block swapper design. Input is going to be underneath this observer aiming out the back. So we just have actually a slab. So what we're going to do is place a block here and then a slab underneath with redstone on, because there's a trapdoor underneath this observer. Trapdoor will set off the block swapper, so just make sure you put the stairs back where they were. So firstly, on the left side, we're going to put our pistons, which do all the swapping. So what we do is sticky piston, then normal piston, then 2 sticky pistons. Then underneath the 2 at the sort of front where the stairs go down to, we do a normal piston on the left and a sticky piston on the right, like that. Then in front of these bottom 2, we're going to do sticky pistons aiming upwards, like that. Then there's blocks that go into the wall above those. And same with this normal piston, we're just going to put a block. All of these are going to be your blocks that go up into the floor. Final floor block goes onto the side that worked on our block swapper. So on my one, it's this side here. So those 4 blocks are the blocks that go into the floor to cover up the stairs. Now finally, under these 2 sticky pistons, we go right to the back at the side and we do a normal piston aiming forwards like that. Then we put a block next to these stairs, and that's because these stairs get pushed to here and then this piston pushes that block back. On the other side of these bottom stairs, we have a redstone block. Then we go to the side of that. We have a normal piston aiming into that. For the rest of the pistons on this side, we go 1 block behind that normal piston. We do 2 more normal pistons like this. 1 block above that one, and a normal piston to the side. And then we'll just fill in the blocks next to the stairs. So there's 1 here, and then they're like this. So there are all the blocks, and there are all the pistons. So going back to our input, right at the back here, the first thing we're going to do is this redstone block. That powers the sticky piston when it gets pushed out there. So we just do a block. Then we do another slab to stop the redstone powering this trapdoor here. Then we do a block 1 block up, like that, next to the slab. Then we do 1 block across and 1 block across into the piston. And there's redstone dust on all of these going to the back. So that's our first piston powered from underneath, the one that's going to be there. So next we're going to have to put some of our redstone on top of observers. So we'll place the observers now. So what we do is we go observer into block swapper, and into that trapdoor we have an observer aiming from the front. Then we have another trapdoor behind that one. That gets powered by some redstone in a bit. So there's a block above that trapdoor, and then 2 blocks behind it, and redstone. And that redstone sets off this observer, sets off the trapdoor, does the block swapper. We have to set off the block swapper twice, so the second time we go next to this observer. We do 1 aiming downwards to dig into the floor to do that. Then we do 1 aiming into a block. Then there's a trapdoor on the other side of this block. Then we do an observer aiming back into a block. So now we go back to our first redstone, we do a block and then block 1 block up, and the redstone aims into it. Then we do a repeater on top of this observer coming out of that block. Then above this observer aiming downwards, we're going to do a repeater on 3 ticks, so 1 from the end, and that will have set off the block swapper a bunch of times. And then you place a block between those repeaters. This repeater goes into a block, and then on top of this block there's a piston I always forget, which is a sticky piston aiming upwards. On top of that block the repeater goes into, underneath the second stairs. To power these pistons at the back, we're going to go to this block the first repeater goes into with a torch. Then we'll do a block on top. Then we do a torch to the side and the top. And that will have pushed some of the stuff, but it doesn't matter, it'll fix itself later. Then above the torch on the side we do a block, and in front of it we do another block with a redstone dust on top. So that's all the redstone for getting rid of the stairs. So your block swapper should be in this position by default. So you've got a block that goes into the floor on the side that worked, then your stairs are above the middle piston to be taken away. So if I use a lever on the redstone and turn it on now, all of the stairs should be taken away, except for this one which already got taken away by this piston getting set off. So we'll do that. And okay, this middle bit didn't work because the piston had already been pushed forward by something we placed earlier. There was a block here that couldn't be pushed out, so you just destroy that and move it on top of there. Place your sticky piston in. And then if we turn it off now, some of it will go away, but not all of it. So we need to push some of it back. So the way we do that is we go to the right side with 2 blocks from the input. We do a repeater on 3 ticks going into a redstone dust. then there's a torch to the side, then there's a sticky piston aiming upwards, and that has an observer aiming sideways from it, and that will set off these pistons. It will set off this one and this one, then set off the final one with an observer coming out of that piston into a block. So now if we set it off, it should kind of change the floor configuration. This block didn't get pushed out. The piston was out still because we hadn't set up this piston yet, but it should fix itself if we turn it off. There we go. So we now have all our stairs in the right place. And then if we turn it on again, all of our blocks come out. That's where the floor is. So your floor would kind of be like this. Turn your lever off again. It opens up and we've now got a staircase. Going to our secret base or whatever. To power it, you power this line of redstone going into the redstone block. So you can see that goes all the way to the back and round. So you can from this side or this side or the front if you just get like a repeater here going into a block with redstone. Then that still connects that piston. And we can just go backwards with that to some lever. And that'll close it up behind us and open it again. So there you go, that's hidden stairs in the floor. So if you want to do like I did at the start, powered by buttons, and that does require a bit of more redstone. So what you're going to need are a couple of droppers, which are these things, not dispensers, droppers. And you're also going to need a hopper, which is this thing here, crafted with iron and a chest. You're also going to need a redstone comparator, needs quartz to build, so you're going to have to go to nether, which you already would have had to do for observers anyway. What we do is we just get any part of our input. So I'm going to go into the side here with a repeater. We just need to go one block from the repeater or somewhere else if you want, as long as the redstone connects up. Do a dropper aiming upwards, dropper aiming across, then a hopper aiming into the bottom dropper that's aiming up into this one. And then you do a comparator on top, aiming from the top dropper into the repeater. And then you put an item in the bottom dropper. So I've put a hopper in there, can be any item. Power the top dropper with a repeater with a button. So I could have my wall here like this, and I'll have my button there, and I'll power this from the side like that. And when I press this now, it toggles between being on, because the item is in the top dropper now, and off. And then all I have to do is a button from the top or somewhere else, and I can activate it from the top as well. So we can do a repeater aiming into this side, and then we'll just have some redstone going like this into the floor with a button. So if I was on top now, I could press this button, it would hide away. And then at the bottom, press this one, and it hides away again. Alright, hope you enjoyed. I've been Died, and this has been the Hidden Stairs tutorial.